Before we launch into Susan Rutherford's part of the program and the town hall segment, my colleagues brought to my attention over lunch that when we did the around the table introductions and asked you what your expectations were for the day, they said, "Kim, we didn't get a chance to talk." And I said, "What? What are you going to tell them?" Anyway, I have no idea what they're going to say, but they would like their moment to explain their expectations for today. So, Susan, you're smiling at me the most.
Great. My name is Susan Rutherford. I'm with West Coast Environmental Law. I work in our Livable and Sustainable Communities program, which is focused on urban-rural issues, the built environment, as it were. And the reason I'm here today is to learn more about your implementation challenges around green infrastructure, and hopefully to have a conversation with you this afternoon around possible solutions. Go that far.
Good. Derek.
Yes, contrary to what Kim says, we weren't begging him to speak to this, but now that we've got the opportunity. My name's Derek Richmond. I'm the Manager of Engineering with the City of Courtney. My expectations are quite simple, actually. I expect to have everybody out of here by 3 o'clock. And I really would like to hear that Courtney is not the only municipality with problems. I think we've all got common problems. I want to get some assurance through the dialogue that's going to take place here this afternoon that we do have common problems and we have common opportunities to deal with these problems in an effective manner. So I'm looking for some really good dialogue this afternoon and to come out of this a series perhaps of not necessarily the solutions, but some directions in which we can go to get those solutions.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's fed well. So my name's Kevin Lagan. I'm with the City of Courtney, and I've been there for quite a few years now. We are at a point in the city where we need to move to the next step and be part of the senior management team. The next step is to manage development, something which I don't think we have done all that well in the past, and the reason for that is we've been growing 4% per annum for the last 12 years. So what I want to get out of this is hearing from you folks what your feedback is, where you're going, what you're doing. So that will give me some insight for us to put together from the City of Courtney's point of view, how we're going to manage development to go from what the vision is to what the end user and beyond gets at the end of the day, and make sure that it's the same thing. Thank you.
I'm Glen Brown. I've already introduced myself. I guess, based on what I've heard this morning, my primary expectation is when I go to the parking lot, my truck is still there. But after that, I think I'm here certainly to listen and learn, and I break that down into sort of 3 subgroups. One is to learn, get a better understanding on what's going on the ground in local government on Vancouver Island. Second is to certainly get an understanding, I think, saying with Susan, is what are the challenges and where are the gaps, and so where are the opportunities for perhaps the province that help find the solutions or work with you to find the solutions and enable you to do the work that you want to do. And I guess thirdly, as a funder of CAVI, I want to make sure that Kim's doing a good job, and, but I also want to make sure that you in general find value in these sessions. So I'm interested to get feedback from you on whether you're actually finding good value in the sessions that have been going on with CAVI on Vancouver Island. That's why.
Okay. You're being so hardworking. You want everybody to sign in promptly next time, right? Okay, that's it. Sign in promptly next time and you'll make Ion happy, right? Okay. So in terms of the afternoon, we truly mean it when we say we want this to be a town hall type of an afternoon. And part of the rationale for why we're doing this is really, again, because we learn, we adapt, and so the Cowichan Valley series was very effective, and it was interesting that in the second seminar there, in terms of the legal stuff that Susan was introducing, that people had questions, and so that got us thinking about, well, there's 2 ways to approach this. Susan can either kind of go through the, here's the legal framework from A to Z, if you're American, say that D, but or or else we can try and see the discussion through your eyes. And so that's what we've done. Kevin and Derek posed a number of questions to Susan, and that became the framework for the first part of the afternoon. And so really it's all about the details, because in the detail, remember one of my slides at the beginning that said, to get to the big picture, it starts with the smallest pieces. And so that's why it's really important to have these kind of nitty-gritty questions and give you that sense of the policy and legislative framework which allow you to create the changes. And so that's kind of like the first part of the afternoon. And then we want to kind of transition into the last part, which really is getting a sense of what some of you have done in your own municipality, or what you'd like to do. So initially it's the questions about some of the details. How do I do this, or how do I do that? And then the picture you have in your mind is how you begin to apply these tools to create the community that you want to see in your community, 50 years from now, because it's the steps you take today result in the community that you have 50 years from now, and it's an incremental process. So that's the context. So it's very much interactive. So when Susan does her thing, we want you to talk up, and interrupt, and because provide the examples to illustrate points that she's making. And then towards the end of the afternoon, then Glenn and I are going to facilitate, drawing you out in terms of your experiences and what you'd like to see. And then at the end, the last 15 minutes, between Kevin and myself, we're going to touch back on terms of your expectations. Have your expectations been met today? And how has your thinking changed as a result of what you heard today? And Kevin's got 2 other things up his sleeve there in terms of that. But now just as I hand off to Susan, you want to come take the microphone, Susan? Oh,
just before you do that, could I just explain?
Oh, right, sorry.
Yeah, let me just explain what we're doing here, and we're not sure whether it's going to work, so work with us, and hopefully it will work. But we've got 2 screens up here. One is to kickstart Susan's presentation, and the other screen, we're going to try and capture the comments that we get back from the town hall group forum. So we'll have, for example, questions. We may have a scenario that develops from that question, and then we try and capture the answer from that. So Tyan is going to try and capture that information, but also on this second screen, somewhere buried in there, we've got a series of pictures of what we think are examples that might speak a little bit more to what Susan is bringing up and what's being generated from discussion within the group here. So bear with us, because we might have to do a little bit of juggling backwards and forwards. So that's what we're doing.
So it'll unfold as it unfolds. Okay. So just in terms of a quick introduction to Susan, you already heard Susan say she's a lawyer, but that's okay, she's one of us, right, Susan?
I sometimes feel like a different.
But in terms of all of our partnerships, we have a consortium of partnerships. There's CAVI, which is for Vancouver Island, the Green Infrastructure Partnership, and Susan's on the steering committee, and that's where I sit with Susan in terms of that partnership. And Susan, just take it away.